Hello folks, I'm Alex, this is Alex Unabridged, and this is Trash Tales, The Road to Publication, Episode 1. So welcome back to the channel if that is the case. Yes, time for a little update today on where we're up to with Trash Tales, the anthology of trashy fiction that Ollie over at Criminolly and I are putting together this year. And the first big bit of news we've got for you in this first episode, this first update, is that we've completed the selection process and we have our lineup. Our lineup of trashy stories. The selection process was quite intense. We had 109 submissions. There's been lots and lots of extremely fun stories to read through in January. But we have now made our selections. And as I say, we have our lineup. But thank you to everyone who submitted a story. You gave us so much fun. You really did in January. It was an absolute blast reading through everyone's stories. So moving on then from here, now we have our lineup. We've got 6 months until publication day. So today I just want to go over the timeline, a broad overview of the timeline of what this publishing process might look like. This will change little bits as we kind of go along in terms of when things happen, in the next few months, just as Ollie and I kind of manage all of this around our lives, essentially. We both have other jobs and stuff. But yeah, this is just a broad overview of the main stages of the project. Subsequent episodes, updates on the project, I'll go into a bit more detail about these things. Okay, so the very next thing for me to do is to get the contract sent out to our authors, get them signed and returned to us. We've got all of our kind of legal stuff sorted. And then Ollie and I will discuss the order of the content, how we want it to appear in the final publication, and we'll figure out exactly which route we want to go down on that, whether we want to group stuff or keep it as individual stories. The main thing for me next, once we've got the contracts in, is starting on the copy editing. The first job of that will be to establish a house style. So a house style is looking at how we standardize various things across all stories. So house style will deal with things like spelling conventions, punctuation, abbreviations, capitalization, M dashes, N dashes, hyphens, all of that kind of stuff, and how we standardize that across all stories. And I need to decide what I'm going to standardize and what I'm going to kind of leave. So things like spelling, I know that I'm going to leave things written with US English and things written in UK English. I'm going to leave those spellings alone. I'm not going to change one to fit the other. But when it comes to punctuation and how dialogue is written, things like that, then that may well get standardized. But I need to go through all the stories, see where the differences are, and figure out what the conventions are going to be and create that house style. Beyond that, I'll be going into the individual copy edits for each individual story, and I will go through that process in more detail at a later date, because it gets a bit more complicated in terms of what is a copy edit. The other main thing that will be coming up shortly will be releasing an open call for submissions for the cover art. That will probably be out within the next week or so. So if you are interested in submitting some art for the cover, then keep your eyes peeled for that announcement. So throughout March and into April, it's going to be mainly editing, copy editing on my side of things. The cover art submissions should hopefully flow in. And then in April, the design will be chosen. Ollie and I will also be thinking about the general overall design of the book, especially in terms of the interior pages, the font styles, the heading styles, the layout, all that kind of stuff. We'll be kind of sorting that out, so that when we get into sort of end of April, May, then we can start to look at sort of the next phase, which will be typesetting and formatting. So I'll be doing the typesetting and then creating digital documents for proofreading. So like a test ebook essentially, which will act as a proofreading copy, but also as a way to kind of make a test ebook that we can check works on various different devices. And then, yeah, the first proper proofread will happen in May. We will bring someone else in to kind of lead that first big full-on proofread, because by that point I think Ollie and I will have seen the stories and read the stories so many times that we are bound to be blind to certain errors. And certainly once you've been through the typesetting process, errors may get introduced within that, even if they are just layout errors. And it's much more difficult to spot when you're really familiar with text and stuff like that. So we will bring someone else in to help with that. So once we get to June, we are in the final stages really. I will be ordering the ISBNs and barcodes to go on the paperbacks, and proof copies will get ordered so that we can do another paper proof. And then necessary edits will obviously be made from that, and then another final proofread done. The marketing push will also begin in June, which Ollie will be handling more than I will. But that's when we'll start to kind of get going with, getting the book out there in terms of, raising people's awareness of what's coming. And we'll also be creating some ebooks for advanced reader copies as well. So that we can actually get it out ahead of release dates rather, and hopefully generate a bit of buzz around it if we can get a few people to read it and review it. And then in July, those ARCs will get sent out in July. We will open pre-orders in July as well. We'll get all the final files uploaded to print on demand services. We'll get our publisher copies ordered so that we can just check them one more time. And then a bit more of a publicity push as well, just to kind of keep that momentum hopefully going, making sure that we kind of get it out there as much as possible. And then August 1st is the release date. And once that release date comes round, we will get the contributor copies distributed as quickly as possible, and keep kind of promoting the book, so that we can hopefully get as many sales as possible, which will hopefully convert into a decent profit that we can then donate to the 2 literacy charities that we want to support through the publication of this book. So that is a very, very broad overview of what the process should look like based on our planning. But as I say, I will go into more depth on some of the kind of elements of this, some of the stages of this as we kind of get towards them, or as I get in them, certainly when it comes to editing, typesetting, things like that, because they're a bit more complex. So there you go. That is a broad overview of what we've got to do in the next 6 months to get this thing ready for publication. I am super excited to start properly, get my teeth into the editing and stuff like that. I'm really excited to work with the authors on this, to keep working with Ollie on this. It's been fantastic working with Ollie so far. And yeah, so far I'm really enjoying the whole process, and I'm sure that I will continue to do so as we go along. But I think that'll do from me today. As I say, these updates, episodes, etc., will come reasonably regularly as we move through the next 6 months. But the main thing is keep your eyes peeled for the open call for cover art submissions coming up soon, in case that's something that you might want to send something in for. But yes, so thank you very much for watching today, folks. As always, I will be back soon with some more bookish ramblings of some sort, I am sure. But from me, for now, that's ta-ra.